All right, what's going on, everyone? I thought we would take a look today at some of the community polls we've been posting over the last. We'll look at the last week. So we'll get that pulled up here. I think these are so much fun. These are things that, like, questions and topics I have in my mind. I don't have an answer to, so it's not like I'm looking for a certain percentage on any one of these polls. But it's so much fun to just see where people's minds are, and honestly, the comments too, people going back and forth, when it's a respectful dialogue, and it often is, of people convincing folks one way or the other, or trying to convince each other one way or the other. I'm learning every day. So I really like checking this out. We'll scroll down a little bit here. Um, I think this is a good place to start right here. Who do you think attacked the Nord Stream pipeline? After 157,000 votes, a pretty good sample size. That's crazy. 48% says Russia, 4% Ukraine, 32% United States, and then 16% other and or no results, or no opinion. I actually thought more people would list Ukraine. I'd seen a lot of dialogue out there about how the storyline of the destruction of the pipeline helps Ukraine because it mobilizes Europe behind NATO and kind of gets them on board with everything that's against Russia. So I thought that Ukraine number would be higher, but I agree. I don't think Ukraine is the one that actually destroyed the pipeline. I'm torn, to be honest. I don't know. The challenge I have between Russia and the United States of who actually did this is it was an illogical move. It doesn't make sense for either one of them, and that means you have to get down into the details of arguing who made the more illogical calculation to do this, right? So very, very high level, the argument against the United States would be, why would the United States damage a pipeline that is providing natural gas to their allies, Germany, Western Europe? Why would the United States do that? Because if that was found out, it might be a near-term win of mobilizing, say, Germany alongside the United States and NATO, as if they're already not there, to thwart Russian moves in Ukraine. But if that's found out long term, that's a nosedive for the United States and Europe. I mean, that's sacrificing an ally for short-term gains. That could severely, catastrophically damage the United States' relations with those countries. So that is a very challenging move. And then for Russia, they spent so much money getting this thing built and put together. There already wasn't gas flowing through the Nord Stream pipeline. They turned it off. There was gas in there, but it had been turned off. So they're really shooting themselves in the foot to blow it up. I don't. Both of them. That's where I'm stuck. Is whoever did it. It's an incredibly risky move. So I don't have a place I'm falling now. I guess I'm here for the debate between Russia and the United States. I think either one is viable at this point. But let's scroll back up. We'll take a look at. I got a couple pictures and comments in here. Another one I like, and we're just going to hit all the polls from the last week or so. Will Belarus commit troops to the war in Ukraine under and alongside Russian command? So the idea there is there's been a lot of talk of Russian troops moving into Belarus, and they have been. They've been there since since before the start of the invasion. There are planes there. There's equipment there. There's, I want to say, the last number I saw was around 1,000 Russian troops were consistently in Belarus. And then recently, Putin signed this agreement, this joint force agreement with Belarus, to where they're moving more over there. And the number I've seen most recently, I think, is 9,000 Russian troops moving into Belarus. So that's raised that alongside Belarus making a lot of comments about how Ukraine better watch out, and they are anticipating Ukraine attacking Belarus, kind of provoking some fears that a new front could be open. So that's where I was getting at with this comment here, or this poll here. So 49% says yes, Belarus will commit troops, 33% says no, and then 18% no opinion. I'm in the no camp. I think they've talked a big game over the last few weeks, but it doesn't benefit. One of their arguments has been that Ukraine is getting ready to attack Belarus. I think that's out of the question. It doesn't make sense for Ukraine to take on a northern front when they don't have to. They are manning defensive positions along their border with Belarus, but it would be a silly move for Ukraine to deliberately start a war on their northern border when they don't have to. So that would leave the act of starting these hostilities on Russia and Belarus. And we haven't really seen Russia since the start of the war be able to pull off multi-front operations, essentially different theaters of war almost. I mean, they're so that didn't go well at the beginning. If you remember, there were multiple axes of advance, and they just didn't work well together. I find it hard to believe at this point that Russia's ready to try that again, and Belarus doesn't have a lot to gain by jumping in on that, other than just doing whatever Putin says, because they're a very, very, very close Russian ally. The last thing I'll add to that, and the reason I'm kind of leaning towards no, is Belarus has been sending equipment to Russia as of late, and ammunition. Um, the things that Russia has been sending to Belarus have been troops and unarmored vehicles, trucks, training equipment, things like that. So there's not a lot of evidence that a heavy flow of military equipment needed for an invasion or a new front is moving into Belarus. Kind of the opposite at this point. Last one I'll throw up here was, I think, just put up yesterday. Yeah, 20 hours ago. Would you support the U.S. offering to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine? Almost half, 49% said yes, 31% said no, and 20% here for the results. I wish that yes number was higher. I mean, I'm glad that it's at least the greatest answer of all, 49 to 31. But I mean, I know the U.S. isn't perfect, and there's plenty of arguments that the U.S. has stoked the flames of this conflict and or kept it going or wants it to continue. I mean, straight from the Pentagon, they've said the goal is to make get Russia to a point where they can't do this type of thing in the future. So um, the U.S. is not an independent third party. Totally understood. But I I think anybody that offers to broker a peace deal in a war, we got to jump on that, no matter what it is, whether you think they're impartial or not. Anything, in my opinion, anything to get that conversation started is at least a good thing. So I guess 49%, we'll call that a win for now. But got a couple more polls coming out soon. Like I said, I think these are so much fun. If you got any ideas for some, throw them out there. But they're just really entertaining to kind of debate these kind of things. I think they're usually worthwhile, bring out a lot of valuable conversation. But that's all I got for now. We'll see y'all next time.